Hi everyone, welcome back to the shed for another vlogtober. I'm feeling an awful lot better today. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more back to normal today, so yeah, hopefully it'll be a bit better episode for you, a bit of a better vlog. But I'm still feeling a bit hoarse. I've got no sense of taste. I'm drinking a cup of coffee and it doesn't taste any different than a cup of tea. But other than that, it's a lovely day here in Wales. It's dry. We have had some sunshine out this morning, but it's gone a bit dull now and a bit cool. And I've got the door open, so that's why I'm wrapped up like a Christmas turkey with my shawl on and my big scarf to make sure that I keep warm. So yesterday, as you could see, I was out looking for autumn colour. And it was really nice to see all the different colours in the garden, because I've not been out since in the garden since Tuesday last week. So it was nice to see how the garden's changing for autumn. And also the last 2 years that we've been here, I've been that busy in the garden, I've not really had much time to notice the colours changing. So it's really nice this year to be able to take it a little bit easier and be able to watch the trees change. So that gardenia tree that I sit under and record in the summer is starting to change now, and I'm seeing a lot more red come through on the leaves. So I'll try and, through the vlogtober, through the month of October, I'll try and periodically do clips for you of the tree as it's changing. I did one yesterday, so there's no point in me doing that today, but I'll try and do another one in another couple of days and show you how that's changing. That field maple as well in the gardens changed a lot overnight, and it's gone more of a rusty yellow from yellow that it was yesterday. So yeah, it's gone more the colour of my Birkin sweater. So I thought I'd come down and do a little bit of knitting and just hang out with you for a little bit and see what you're all up to. I put another video up of getting the fire ready for you, showing you how I get my fire ready. I do a different method than a lot of people do, and I burn top down with my fire. I set the fire up like a Jenga tower, and I burn from the top down. And we had a fire last night, and it was a really, really nice fire. It kept warm for ages, and I hardly used any wood. And I've been watching videos online about how to use our fire. We've got a stove called an arrow stove. Excuse me, I've got an itch. Yeah, we had a fire last night, and the fire stayed hot for ages, and yeah, it was a really nice fire. So I'm going to have another one tonight. I wasn't going to get back into the routine of having a fire yet, but it seems daft not to when we've got so much wood. I've just been to try and shift some of it now in the garage, and I'm just far too tired. I managed 3 little shopping baskets full, put that in the woodshed, and then thought that's enough for now. So I'll try and do a little bit each time I go out to the garage throughout the day today, because I've got the tumble dryer on, and I'm trying not to be in the house as much because I've been in the house since Tuesday. So yeah, I thought I'd come down, sit in the shed, and then when I'm going in and out the garage periodically, I'll go and shift a bit of wood. I'm getting a little bit of cabin fever, so that's why I've come down to the shed, but the hens seem to be pleased with me being about. If I keep looking, it's because they're popping their head in the doorway. I put a fence up, as you saw in the footage at the beginning, to keep them out the shed because they're making a right mess. The floor's awful, and I like to walk in here in barefoot. Yeah, so I thought I'd come and have a cup of coffee and hang out and have a chat with you. I might go for a bit of a walk later, and if I do, I'll put some footage in today or tomorrow, because I want to go and get some bits and bobs for these. These are my wreaths that I was showing you yesterday that I've been making with the laurel branches. And you know, they're actually quite weighty. I didn't realise laurel was so heavy. And they're not really very thick branches. But yeah, I thought, you can see them now, my face isn't in the way. But I thought I would try and find some fir cones to go on them. And I've got some raffia there. I've got some nice pinky coloured raffia, I think, or orange. Do you know, I can't remember. It's in the garage somewhere in my room, in my work room. But I thought I would try that. I've also got some paper yarn as well. So I thought maybe I could tie on the fir cones with some floristry wire. The silver stuff, not the coat, not the green stuff. and wrap the art yarns around, and then add some bells and some raffia bows or something onto them, and then pop them in my Etsy shop and see if anyone wants them. If I can get my head together, I have got some little toadstool beads and things as well, so they might be quite nice attached on as well. I've got some pottery toadstools, and I've also got some little hedgehogs as well. So yeah, I might have a think and see what I can put on them, make them all Christmassy for you. But yeah, I might go out and go for a little bit of a walk and get out of the house. But even though I live in such a rural location, if I go out for a walk, I'm just worried that I might bump into someone, and I don't want to give anyone else this. So yeah, I don't know, I'll see. I've only got to be in till Thursday, so it's not that long to wait. It's Monday now, isn't it? So it's not that long to wait. Anyway, I can't drink this coffee, do you know? I just can't taste it. So I haven't done any more on my crochet squares. I might do a couple more of them while I'm here as well. But like I said yesterday, I started a new blanket, so I'm going to put that in my knitting podcast. I'm going to do a knitting podcast on Wednesday, I think. I'll probably be a lot better by then. You don't want to see my sick face all the time, especially for an hour. So I just thought I'd come and hang out with you. I'm not going to drink that coffee, it's disgusting, because I can't taste it. So yeah, I hope you all had a nice weekend, whatever you were up to for the weekend. I had a much better day yesterday. I got loads of videos edited yesterday. I've got a new channel called Wildwood Cottage that I've got on YouTube. And I'll take this off, I'm getting a bit warm. I'm getting a bit warm now. It's quite a warm space, this, really. But yeah, I've got another channel called Wildwood Cottage, and I wanted to try and keep this channel to be a handcraft channel. And while it's nice to do some bits and bobs of my life here in a Welsh cottage, I think a lot of my viewers are here largely for the knitting content. So what I've done is I've set up another channel, and that is about my cottage diary. That is literally a cottage diary, and I am documenting my experience of living in the countryside in Wales. As one coming from the city, I used to live on the outskirts of a city where my home was, and yeah, to move to the countryside is quite a big transition, because I grew up in the city. I lived all my life sort of within half an hour of where I was born, and I had my family in the same place. I'm one of these people that have never been abroad, don't even own a passport, and don't particularly want to go abroad either. So yeah, for me to come to the countryside and to live in this place, in a remote location, quite far away from neighbours, it's a very, very big transition for me, because in the road where I used to live there was 100 houses, and it was a working class area, and the houses, all the roads either side, they had probably about 100 houses in them. So the population of where I live at the moment is probably the population of that small area of probably a square mile where I lived in my other house before I moved to Wales. So yeah, it's a very, very big difference for me. And I don't know why I started to talk about this, but I may as well tell you a little bit about myself. And when we came here 8 years ago, we lived up in the mountains, and that was a completely different contrast to where I am now. I live more down towards the coast now, in open countryside, and where we were before was quite enclosed and surrounded by hills. So it did take me a long time to settle in, and I used my knitting as a means of settling in. It was the one familiar thing that I'd taken with me really from my other life, and my knitting became my lifesaver really, my craft, my spinning, and I think that's why I've become so addicted to my craft and to my hobby. I love it here. I would never want to go back to where I've been, and I think that's part of the reasons why I love sharing in videos where I live, because I'm so grateful for the opportunity to live in a place like this, and I want to share that with you, my viewers, on my channel. So yeah, that's a little bit about me moving to Wales. I've always knitted as far as I can remember. I first learnt to knit when I was about 6 years old, 7 years old. Somebody taught me at New Year's Eve party. The daughter of my mum and dad's friend, she taught me, and I've still got the needles that I learnt on. And then I knit something for my brother when he was born, when I was 9. A little pair of booties and a pair of mittens and a hat. And then I didn't knit anything then until I was, oh gosh, year 2000 I started knitting again. So how old would I have been then? 27, I think. I think I was 27 when I took up knitting again. And I wasn't a very adventurous knitter. I just did stocking stitch for goodness knows how long. I've still got a couple of the cardigans that I made when I first started knitting. Everything I knitted seemed to be far too big. I was scared of knitting something and it being too small, so I always knit it a couple of sizes bigger. And it always ended up being far too big, so it always ended up getting frogged and ripped out and never got worn. So of course the very first garments that I ever knit I haven't got, because I always used to rip them out and put them all back into the storage, into my stash, and then it never saw the light of day again. So yeah, the amount of times I've knitted something and just ripped it out, just sort of tried it on, but I don't like that, and then binned it. I did that once with some Hebridean yarn. Sorry, I'm waffling. I did that once with some Hebridean yarn, and I knit it up into this door pattern called the Milkmaid top, and it was this top that came all the way up to here with a cowl, sleeveless, and it had cable detail in here. It was like the Birkin sweater, where it was quite a big body, and I was quite a big frame at the time, and I knit it and I tried it on, and I've never liked my arms, and it was like tank top sleeves and then this big jumper. Oh, it looked awful. It looked absolutely awful. And I'd bought really expensive yarn in Shilterdare and Skye, knitted it up in this beautiful yarn, tried it on, put buttons on it and everything, tried it on. I hated it, absolutely hated it. So of course that night it was no more a Milkmaid top, it was balls of yarn again, and it went back into stash. So yeah, that is my experience of knitting, is knitting things and taking them to bits and then never wearing them. So yeah, I was of course a very nervous knitter, and with good reason I suppose, because as you know, as a knitter you spend so many hours knitting, and yeah, days, months, years even in my case, and then it gets frogged and never sees the light of day. So I'm not that bad now, thankfully. I'm a lot more adventurous now of my knitting. I've done steeking, which I never thought I'd do. I've done Fair Isle. Yeah, and this Birkin one is giving me a headache, and I tried it on the other day and I thought, oh no, it's too big. But you know, I'm going to block this one and I'm going to see how it turns out. Excuse me, my little hen is trying to get over the fence. Won't be a sec. What are you doing? I'm back. She's trying to get in because she can see me and she thinks she can get in and have food because they've got so used to coming in, and now I'm just shutting them out. Anyway, that's a little bit about me. I do other crafts as well. I do crochet, as you know. I do a little bit of sewing. I'd like to get back into garment knitting again. Garment sewing again, sorry. And start making myself some clothes now I've lost weight. Having COVID has helped with my diet because I haven't felt like eating, I haven't felt like smoothies, so of course the weight's coming off on its own accord now. Yeah, I do weaving as well, but I just haven't had the headspace to do anything recently. And I do spinning as well, which I'm hoping to do a little bit of that today and get in the garden, so that'll be nice. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I realise a lot of you don't know a lot about me, so I don't think I've ever done a video to share anything about me. So yeah, I suppose it's a good time to tell you, isn't it, to do it. But yeah, I'm still not feeling 100%. My brain's still not working very well. My body's still got no energy. So yeah, I just thought I'd come and hang out with you in the shed for a bit. So chickens are looking like they're looking for my attention. Even though they've got loads of food and loads of water, they still think that I should give them everything else and give them more. Just gannets. Hello. They're all by the fence looking to see if they can get in. Do you know, they've got a lovely water, nice clean water. And in the footage I showed you before, all four of them, the heads in the blooming bucket full of dirty water. Doesn't matter how much clean water they have, they always want the dirty one. Daft. So as you can see, I'm still plugging away on Birkin. Just never seems to want to get finished, this sweater. But yeah, I tried it on the other day and it's looking alright. I'm not overly enamoured with it. I'm not sure about the colour. The colour's very yellow, and when I put it on it was very bright, but maybe that's just the way I'm feeling at the moment with not being well. It seems very baggy round the neck, a bit tall up here round the neck, so yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping to get it finished for Wednesday and then I can show you it in my podcast, but if it's not finished I'm not going to show you because there's no point. You've seen it in every episode, I think, for the last 4 episodes, so I think I'll try and find you something else. I do have another finished object to show you on Wednesday, and I'll try and get some progress made on my garden gate sweater as well, but we'll see how we get on. Anyway, I'm starting to get a bit hoarse again now, so I'm going to sign off and let you get back to your day. Thanks very much for joining me, and thanks again to all my new subscribers for subscribing to my channel. Please do leave comments today under the video and let me know where you're from and what you're knitting. Let me know what you're thinking of my content, and if there's anything you'd like to see or you'd like me to do during this vlogtober. And I'll see what I can do. As I say, I've got my natural dye mini series coming out as well. I'm hoping to get that out during October, but with doing vlogtober I'm wondering whether to put it off till November, and have that as something extra for November, because you're going to be sick of the sight of me by the time we get to the end of October if I'm doing this every day. So yeah. It's about 5 or 6 parts, I think. I need to skein up some yarn for that so that I can do the dyes. But we need some nice weather so I can get the rocket stove lit and get that done. But I don't really want to stand outside on a cold yard in the cold winds, because where we are, that hill I show you in my videos with the trees at the back of the yard, it is a big wind tunnel, and in the cold weather the wind comes rushing down that field into the yard, and it's absolutely freezing. And when you go in and out of the garage in the winter, it is absolutely bitter because that wind comes straight down that field, and it's really, really cold. So that's why you see me a lot of the time in a big scarf. And this morning I have my huge coat on as well. So yeah, so I'll wait until we get a nice warm day and I'm feeling better before I stand out in a freezing cold yard doing my natural dyes. So, but in the meantime, if the wood burning stove turns up, the cooker stove, then I might do it on there, because it might be getting a little bit cold, but we'll see. We'll see what the weather's like. We'll see how long it takes me to get better from this stupid COVID. So yeah, anyway, I'm waffling now, and I'm getting a sore throat, so I'm going to sign off now, and I'll catch up with you again tomorrow. So do leave comments in the comment section below and say hello. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you're knitting on, what you're making, and yeah, I think that's it for today. I'm going to carry on with my knitting, hang out with the chickens, try and drink this disgusting coffee that I can't taste, and I will see you tomorrow. So have a good day. I hope you're all well wherever you are, and I will see you tomorrow. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you tomorrow. So thanks again. Bye for now. Bye.